Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, so let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. Today is, of course, the weekly candle close, and I am definitely watching this market closely with a lot of the EMAs, Bollinger Bands, and of course the moving averages on the charts, because it is the pivotal moment to see if Bitcoin is going to not only break out of the 25K region and go to 28K, or break down below 24K and go down to 22 to 22.5K. Like, that's the area that I'm watching to be retested on Bitcoin before we do have, continuation higher. I'm betting on us actually dipping down to the lower 22K region first, then going to 28K, but I'd love to be proven wrong. Altcoins in general have been holding on to their gains. Celsius is still up 173%. Anchor up 40, almost 2%. So again, this market is looking pretty good, I would say, in regards to like the actual gains. They are holding on to them pretty closely, I would say. On the 24-hour span, though, we are seeing some altcoins actually having a little bit of a sell-off, especially even on the 7-day span, like even ApeCoin. Avi's down a little bit, but for the most part, a lot of altcoins are green. I think that even XRP actually has been green on the 24-hour span. We could definitely check it out. So yeah, it's been green, up about 4%. We're sitting just under 40 cents. Nothing too crazy there, but you'll love to see it. Now, we have been watching a few things unfold around crypto. Just recently, Blockworks reported Brazil's central bank president credit cards will cease to exist soon due to the growth of the open finance system. Now, the open finance system does not pertain to crypto necessarily, but the central bank president has stressed the idea on, one, to adopt crypto fully. They still need a little bit more transparency and regulations. But the funny thing about this is that I have said it time and time again that credit cards and debit cards are completely useless. They are completely garbage if you actually look at them. It's almost like, if I gave you a cell phone and said, hey, you could utilize this cell phone. It's all digital, but it needs to be plugged in to the wall. Okay? It is almost like giving you something and saying, hey, this is, new age technology. It's the future, whatever, but it's still at the underlying areas very inefficient. Debit cards and credit cards are similar to that. When they first came out around the 1960s, it was great. They were great, in terms of like innovation around the payment system. But today we do look at them as very inefficient because they are all running on pre-approved credits. Meaning, when you do swipe that debit card or credit card, you are having a pre-approved transaction go through and you're paying it later when it does actually settle in your bank account or even in your credit card app. This is very inefficient. This is why I say liquidity is actually a big concern, even around like XRP, but with the current financial system too. And also, we did see Steve Cohen quietly setting up crypto-only asset manager. The move to create a separate entity reflects Cohen's increasingly bullishness on digital assets, according to four sources familiar with the matter. We do see down here, hedge fund billionaire Steve Cohen is laying the groundwork for an investment firm focused exclusively on cryptocurrency, according to four sources similar or familiar with the matter. And yeah, I think that this is going to be a new thing. I think that we're going to see a lot more of hedge funds moving into crypto. Just recently, obviously you guys are all aware of the BlackRock situation. I think that that is going to be the flame or the spark that really starts the fire, and I think that we're going to see the flames burning even hotter going into the rest of this year. I think that 2023 into 2024 is definitely going to be something exciting. Going forward, I'm very excited about this market. I mean, honestly, I ask you guys, like, if you guys are watching this video, how do you guys feel about crypto going forward? Because like we just recently witnessed a full-on 2-year span since the crash of March of 2020. We have seen, adoption as well as like even regulations being spotlighted on. Adoption has, absolutely went crazy. It exploded around crypto, and even like regulatory discussions has started to really kind of pick up steam. So I do believe that we will see, a full-on regulatory stance on crypto very soon. And also, again, from Blockworks, we do see here, can't wait to host Blockworks DAS. Now, the reason why I bring this up is I think that this is going to be something special to watch for. This is on September 13th and 14th, right around the time frame of Ethereum's merge. I do think that this is going to be a time frame that's actually bearish. I know that that is contrary to what everybody else is saying. Of course, I've told you guys exactly why I do believe that we will see a bearish price move on Ethereum during that time. It's almost like buy the news, sell the news sort of situation, or buy the news, sell the actual announcement. But we do see here this is $800 billion assets under management represented it, 600 institutions, 90 speakers, and 300 funds. And yes, there's going to be many names from all around this community there. I think that this should be on everybody's calendar if you do want to learn more about what's happening around crypto, specifically with these major institutions. So definitely stay tuned to that. But talking more so about financial institutions, we do see this report from Ripple, and yes, a lot of people have discussed this report already, where it does say there's 70% of financial institutions that are interested in utilizing blockchain for payments. This report, we actually broke this report down well before Ripple even posted, actually, which I thought that was interesting. But there's a few things in here in regards to statistics that are very interesting. First off, NFTs, 3x more APAC consumers say they would, buy an NFT to commemorate, an important moment than their, peers in other regions. Then they do break down NFT benefits as well, because we do know Ripple is moving in on the NFT sector greatly right now. But we also do see 30% of respondents believe the impact of CBDCs on finance will be massive in the next 5 years. Again, next 5 years, 2027, by 2025, this entire market's going to be, it's going to be something monumental to be a part of. 76% of financial institutions expect to use crypto in the next 3 years. And you could honestly probably, bump these numbers up. They're, rookie numbers, if you will. But no, I would say we will see 100% financial institutions utilizing crypto. I think that the exposure to crypto is only going to grow from here. And I do think that this is a tipping point scenario, basically, where institutional adoption, because broader institutional adoption, the speed of which can be fueled by a variety of factors, including use for hedging and also even payments. But yeah, I do think that there is a flame that is burning pretty hot right now under crypto, and I really do think that the major things to look around, within crypto, we just talked about Energy Web Token on this channel. We've been talking about Energy Web Token for a while. Sustainability is such a huge thing. The funny thing about Ripple with XRP is that the XRP ledger is utilizing green technology from Energy Web Token for sustainability needs. And again, the XRP ledger is extremely sustainable. XRP is one of the greenest projects in the space, so you love to see that. But we do see more than 20% of global consumers say they would only buy sustainable cryptocurrencies. This is actually a huge deal, by the way. This is a very large statistic, to say the least. And also, down here, 70% of global financial institutions are interested in using blockchain for payments. Surprisingly, as noted earlier, for each of these use cases of digital banking, fintech segment reported significantly lower levels of interest, about 15% fewer than the other segments, which included retail and commercial banking, money transmitter, payment provider, payment aggregator, and investment banking / brokerage. One hypothesis as to why this is the case, as mentioned earlier, is that fewer of the digital banking / fintech segments feel the pain points that the other segments feel as strongly, perhaps because they are prepared or papered over the cracks in the existing system, or perhaps the segment is more pessimistic about new solutions that will compete with their offerings. And yeah, I mean, that's probably the case. But we do see the key benefits of using blockchain and also even crypto for payments: increased data security, data quality, opportunity to expand to more markets, real-time settlement, huge area. And you do see it's a 34% there. You do see opportunity to grow market share in current markets, transparency of payment status, opportunity to generate new revenue opportunities with your customers, reduce fraud, 24/7, 365, opportunity to build your brand, less expensive, no pre-funding required, and also fewer payment failures. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot here. I mean, even 33% of global consumers would consider using crypto for purchases. 25% of global consumers would consider using crypto to send money to friends or family. I would say that we're at the tipping point here. And 56% of global consumers say they are more likely to transact with a merchant that accepts crypto. And then down here, last but not least, this is more so around like compliance. 25% of compliance leaders surveyed believe that blockchain will offer better solutions compared to traditional methods for identity, know your customer, and for payment efficiency in the next 3 years. Yeah, like I really do think that we should be focusing on these reports, but more so like, don't get like the wrong idea like around crypto at all when you do see a lot of like the FUD on Twitter and stuff. Like crypto is so early in its own stages. It's insane how early we actually are. And also talking about XRP, I know that the biggest concern around this community is, if we're seeing all this on-demand liquidity volume, like why isn't the price of XRP moving? And we're going to be talking about that here in a second. But first off, shout out to Anders. I have 2 tweets from here too. But we do see, I believe the current on-demand liquidity volume is underrated since such increase is exponential. We know Ripple had an average of 23 million per day in on-demand liquidity sales last quarter, quarter 2 2021 to quarter 2 2022. 1 year later, it went from 158 million to 2.1 billion dollars, more than a 10x in a single year of on-demand liquidity growth. This is, something pretty, substantial when you are looking at like, I know that this is $2.1 billion. This might not seem like a lot to some people, but if we're going to grow at a 10x average per year, we could expect to see like by quarter 2 of 2023 to have over $20 billion worth. Hence, it determines, a few things determine this. One, it's determined mostly by on-demand liquidity expansion, but I do think that there is going to be a lot more utilization of the on-demand liquidity service, and we do see here it might not seem like much today, but if there is a 10x growth in on-demand liquidity related sales each year, it would reach $2.3 trillion of daily sales in 5 years. And that would just be, for utility. Over 90% of FX volume is from speculation. Utility will bring a ton of speculators as well. And yes, and this is why, and I seen like a lot of comments on my last XRP video talking more so about like the crazy price predictions that we do see on Twitter. This is where those price predictions actually do come true. Like this is where we will see $100 to $500 per XRP, and this is also where we could very well see $1,000 per XRP if we do see massive amounts of daily transactions, which would be like $2.3 trillion in just utility-based transactions alone, which is substantial. But also, yes, like this is accounting for if we do have, and I say if we do have, 10 times the on-demand liquidity volume per quarter or per year in quarter 2. And also over here, I guess the idea is to start with the smallest payments in the case of on-demand liquidity and then turn up the volume with lots of them. Liquidity will be able to support larger and larger payments that will transfer through on-demand liquidity until larger bank transfers can be supported. What do you see down here? This goes back to 2019. Yes, it is deployable in all markets, including XRapids. Since then this got rebranded. In fact, the small value, high volume payments are optimal for bootstrapping a bridge currency into a new network. Those payments maximize the ROI for market makers by minimizing their deployed capital, payment volume being equal. High value corridors require more capital. Low value corridors, less capital. ROI is a function of profit/capital. And we do see down here, it should also mean that the market makers will start holding much larger amounts of XRP when the transfers get larger, since you only need to hold enough XRP to cover the transfer size. And yes, we will see a lot more hodling of XRP and massive hoarding of XRP going forward if we do see a lot more volume around specific corridors. But also remember, in order to actually get to these high value or high value, high volume payments, more so on the subject of like what David Schwartz said, it would require a higher price point. Like the higher the price of XRP, the more the larger the markets that it could actually go after in regards to like on-demand liquidity corridors. So that actually opens the doors for a lot more growth of on-demand liquidity. And yes, we will get there in time. I do think that once we do get back over like the all-time high of XRP, I think that that's where the real show does begin. I think that that is where things get very, very exciting. And also this is also why I said like $10 to $13 is still my targets. Do I think that we can go much, much higher? I mean, yeah. I mean, if we're talking about XRP, everyone wants to know like a time frame on the next cycle, and this is where I give you guys a quick warning. So first off, we could speculate all day long on if we are in a bear market, right? Because A lot of people do believe that we are in a bear market. I actually do believe that we are in a bear market as well. But there's also individuals that do think that Bitcoin still has not seen its wave 5 topping point, and we could go on a monstrous run within the 2023 timeframe. Now, if that does happen, I'm prepared either way. I have been accumulating my bags. I've been packing my bags heavy, and I have been DCAing in on a weekly basis now, and I'm prepared for that. But I also do believe that we could have, very well seen the bear market already here. We could have already topped out back in November, and now we have until about 2024 to 2025. And do I think that 2023 could have some nice movements like we did see in like even 2020? Sure, 100%. But 2023 is still kind of questionable. I would say like 2024 to 2025 is going to be the big time frame, and by then, surely the market cap of crypto is going to be much higher than 3 trillion. So when we actually look at XRP at 10 to $15, I think that that's really just the bare minimum price range. If you actually look at the chart for XRP, the higher fib outreaches take it to about like $30 to $50. So, again, I share with you guys this just to give you guys a quick insight that like $10 to $15 might just not be the end goal here in the next cycle, depending on how much money actually flows into crypto. And from the looks of it, with all of these major institutions, with all of the amount of demand around crypto and a lot of, spotlight being put on this market, we could see, the market cap of crypto exponentially much higher than what we do expect going into the next major bull run, which would obviously help XRP because all that money does trickle down. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As it's up to you all, have a beautiful day, beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.